Hey guys, welcome to another little Styrene Mountain video here. We're going to be doing a real quick update on one of the two GT3 cars, the Team Russia BMW Z4 GT3. Also want to cover a couple other things real quick. One, for everybody who's sitting around wondering where the August compilation video is, I would point you at Revell. They haven't updated their production website or their regular website to indicate what the August kits are going to be. I would presume, being summer, the person in charge of this is probably on vacation. However, they probably should have, had the update all done before they left so that a few people could type a couple keys and it would have pushed onto the internet. Website editing is really not that hard. Trust me, I do it. It's one of those, if I could do it, anybody can do it kind of things. Trust me, it's not nearly as hard as a lot of people would make it out to be. And literally doing what they do, yeah, that could have all been done well in advance. So maybe Monday. I don't know. On the other side of things, overseas, we did get a bunch of stuff today, a bunch of announcements, very exciting stuff. We'll talk about it tomorrow in the actual stash report. If Aoshima does their spot run stuff for September tomorrow morning, which would be in about 6 hours or so, because of the giant time difference between here and the United States, then we will also be taking the week off next week as far as the stash report goes, because nothing will be going on domestically speaking, other than maybe the Revell announcements, and maybe we'll just pop up real quick for that. But assuming that Revell could update the website maybe tomorrow, then that would eliminate the need, because everything, literally, all the vendors, all of the companies, and everybody, they're all going on summer vacation next week, starting on Wednesday. So I don't really expect much to happen Monday or Tuesday of next week, especially since the September spot run announcements are starting to come out already this week, and that's something that normally wouldn't happen until next week at all. I really don't expect anything to be coming in of any significance tomorrow, on Friday, or on Monday or Tuesday, so we'll probably take Friday off. If something comes in, then we'll do the video. At any rate, let me spin the camera here so we can go over this BMW real quick. Got a few things done. We have what is really unseasonably odd weather for us here in Pennsylvania. It's been warm, don't get me wrong. We had a couple of 90-degree days here last week and the beginning of over the weekend, but the humidity has really been quite reasonable for August in Pennsylvania. I know, like Ken over Show Rug Garage, people like that can we can all commiserate with how miserable it usually is outside in Pennsylvania in August. It's not Florida by any stretch of the imagination, but usually August is 90s and 90% humidity. It's the 3 H's of Pennsylvania weather: hot, hazy, and humid. It hasn't been really all that humid. It hasn't rained all that much either. Really been kind of dry here, which is bad for the job that I have. But it is what it is. But it has allowed me to actually get out and get some stuff done. We showed you the fact that we had the chassis and stuff done last week. Went out yesterday, got the body painted. So please hold while we spin. Oh my God, it's a giant hand. All right. I need a chair with rollers. So here, guys, I'm going to move this closer to the camera rather than trying to make the camera zoom in, although I may zoom the camera here too as well. Here's our BMW Z3 body. Now, a lot of people will probably notice very quickly that this is not very glossy. It is just a sort of satin sheen, and that is because this is, to me, a semi-gloss black. It is probably one of the best paint finishes I've ever achieved in the several years coming back into the hobby. One of the first paint jobs in a long time I can say I'm actually happy with. I've dealt with paint jobs, and I have some stuff that I want to strip and repaint, and, the McLaren was pretty good. Everybody seemed to like it. I wasn't particularly happy with the paint job itself, though. But I was trying to get this into the light here, but this has been it's kind of hard to show you because it's black and the background's black, and I forgot to turn on one of the lights, so that's not helping anything either. But you get the idea. This is satin black. Now, a lot of people will be like, why didn't you paint it gloss black? Well, that's because the actual car itself is satin black. The real car I got a bunch of reference photos for the real car, so I could get the decals placed where they need to be, because Studio 27's decal placement guide is not exactly the most accurate. It's a two-dimensional line drawing when I need to see what the car looks like in actual three-dimensional photographs. I noticed that this was in fact a completely and totally satin black car from front to back, so that's what we went with. Now, a lot of people will probably say that this should have been gloss black, and then put the decals on it, and then go ahead and put a matte clear over top of it. Because the traditional conventional wisdom is that when I put the decals onto this car, the background, the carrier, if you will, of the decals are going to silver really badly, and that's always a possibility that may actually occur. The reason why I went with painting it matte black, other than the fact that right now, if I could distill this matte black into a woman, and I would, have it, make sure it had my illicit love child, because I'm, like I said, really thrilled with how this came out. There's not like a drip, a run, there's no fuzz in the paint, it is smooth as a baby's ass. This is fantastic. I should just paint everything matte black, frankly. But the reason we went this way is because the decals themselves are a $35 set of decals. And what I don't want to do is, and while I guess if it's silvers, the decals is sort of irrelevant, but what I didn't want to do up front was paint this, to me, would be the wrong color. Gloss black would be the wrong color. And then put the decals on, and then try to put matte clear over top of it and have the matte clear destroy the decal sheet. And have to strip the whole thing and start all over again. We will know, this is sort of a lesson to work with as well, because if this works and the decals don't silver, then we know that we can go ahead and paint the SLS AMG matte black, because that car too is also a matte black and not shiny, and we go from there. If the decals silver, then we know we have to try to go the other way of painting the Mercedes the gloss black and then matte coating it after the decals are on. The other reason why we can't really matte coat this after the decals are on is because, as we've discussed before, there are a number of actual chrome decals. That's why the decal sheet is so expensive. A number of chrome spears and whatnot that are going to go over top of the green parts of the decals, or in between the green parts of the decals, and that would require me to basically decal the entire car except for the chrome parts, then matte clear it, and then go back and put the chrome parts on, except that I believe with the way the instructions are laid out, at least from Studio 27, that will be technically impossible due to the fact that the way the decals sometimes lay on top of decals, and I believe there's a couple of times where sponsorship decals will either touch or go over the chrome parts, or the chrome parts will touch or be over parts of other decals. And it just gets into a mess of, now, do I matte coat the chrome too? Because the chrome is supposed to be shiny. If you ever go, well, we'll see when I get the thing decaled, obviously, but if you go up and look up Team Russia, number 78, European Le Mans Series on a Google image search, you'll see that the chrome is shiny chrome. That's why the decals are chrome. That is why they're $37, $35 for the decals, because there's a chrome decal sheet. Trying to print stuff in chrome is incredibly expensive because of the specialized ink that it requires. So we're going to go with this and hope for the best. If it F's up, it F's up, and we'll just learn from that experience and go on and try to make the best of it we can with this, because I'm not going to go out and try to buy another $37 set of decals either. A couple other things that got done. These are still needing a little bit of cleanup, but here are the front uprights for the suspension. It's got a titanium gold brake caliper, and the rest of it is just semi-gloss black. You won't even be able to see 3/4 of it when it's done. The only thing I've really done with the interior is I've sort of roughed in. I mean, obviously, guys, roughed in. Literally, don't go all ballistic that it looks like crap. Really, just roughed in the areas that will need to be black, because they're not three-dimensional at this point. They're just reminding me basically that this entire box, you see it's a three-dimensional box. This entire box needs to be black. The entire cap of this needs to be black. This is a fire extinguisher holder or something of that nature, and I still need to finish it up. This entire, this entire thing needs to be black all the way down to the base. This is just sort of roughed in the general shape, but there's an entire center console portion here that's black. Really shows a piece of carbon fiber. And then this entire footwell here has to be black, and as you can see, it's just sort of roughed in so I can keep in mind where the black paint needs to be and where it doesn't need to be. That way I'm not accidentally painting anything that doesn't need to be black, and I am not, by accident, overpainting or forgetting to paint something in that case. On this tree, just a real quick, here's the fire extinguisher on this kit. For some reason, they wanted it painted in this really bright green. I don't know if that's technically correct or not, but hey, it's cool. And a little bit of color. Probably won't actually be able to see it. And then down here, and these again are roughed in. I know he paints on the sprue. Yeah, I do. The back brakes, which are the ones that are still black, obviously they're really roughed in. As you can see, there's just paint slop there as I kind of went over colored outside the lines a little bit. These ones on these front brakes, which unfortunately have no real rotor detail. It looks like I've got two sets of pie plates, or a pie plate mounted to a Frisbee, but it is what it is in the kit. And I'm not going to go out and buy a $30 set of photo etch every time I build one of these. But the middle part there is actually Imperial Japanese Navy cockpit green, because the color callouts, according to Fujimi, and based on basically what it looked like, got too much color, too much light from that one spot there. It's blanching everything out. I need to get that, let the camera readjust itself because it's getting all wonky there, but tip this down. There we go. But the what it looks like in reference photos, and what it and the color calls was something that they were calling Robin's Egg Green, which is a GSI Creo's Mr. Color color. And so I got the color chart that I have. That's it's not really a conversion chart. It's just literally the color chart for Mr. Color, and went through the Tamiya paint rack at my local hobby shop. So I found something that was the exact same color, and it turns out that this Imperial Japanese Navy green is the same color. So huzzah on that. It'll give, if nothing else, and you won't be able to see most of it anyway, just because of the nature of, how these wheels are. They're gonna cover most of it anyway. You'll literally just be able to barely see the background of the green, but it'll give a little color pop to the chassis and won't be all just black. And then lastly, I have the dashboard complete. Let me take this thing and actually pitch it down a little bit because we're getting way too much light. And let me see. I need something to point with here. All of these for cocking switches are individual pieces of decal. They are from the kit itself, and that took a little bit of a beating with. I know why, because I have it zoomed in. There. Now it'll just autofocus on its own. Or it won't. I lied. Aha. Like I said, all those are different. All those are decals. A couple of my friends gave me a ration of crap about why didn't I just paint the stupid things the colors are supposed to be and go with it. I said I am I'm the guy that brags about decaling. How am I going to not decal it? And then lastly, which is probably not going to be that easy to see, maybe not. It was probably better when it was in focus the last time. But there is the one piece of carbon fiber, which is now not going to focus. There it is. Up there on the where the gauge package is. You get a sort of a turned off LCD screen, and then there's a carbon fiber surround to it. That is part of the Studio 27 carbon fiber set for the Z4. And again, it's probably something you won't see, but it looks good now outside the kit. So anyway, like I said, that was going to be a quick update, and we're already at 15 minutes, so we're done. We'll let the body gas out for a couple of days before we start putting decals on it. I'm going to work on all of the little bits and pieces that go into it, all the hood pins and headlights and taillights and vents and all this other stuff. Some of it will get spray bombed, some of it will get hand painted. It all depends on the size of it and how prominent it is on the car. Hand paint some of the stuff just so it'll have a different texture, because a lot of stuff is still going to be semi-gloss black, the hood pins and stuff like that. So at least it'll be, if you've ever really paid attention, the semi-gloss black acrylic in a bottle, to me it tends to be a little more glossy than the spray paint can does. It'll match, like, if you know, in a spot, if you were cut off something from you spray painted something on a parts runner and then cut it off and then touched up the, you know, the parts where the parts runner attached, you can get away with brush painting it. It'll match close enough. But in this situation where there's a sea of semi-gloss black, the whole body, the hood pins and stuff like that being hand painted, there'll be just a little bit different shade of black, which will make it look like I didn't just glue everything to the body and paint it black at once. So, at any rate, guys, that's where we're at. Tomorrow, we'll be back tomorrow sometime, maybe Saturday, depending on whether or not I work a full day tomorrow or not. It's supposed to rain today. We need a good soaking rain, so I can do some cleanup work at a couple of sites that basically don't require me to be there unless there's, you know, a bunch of water laying around. And we'll go from there. And, yeah. I had something else to say. I don't remember what it was. Basically, just going to keep plugging away at this BMW right now. So, anyway, we'll see you guys on the other side.